All right, and welcome back. They actually lied to me. They said 10 minutes, but we only needed 5, so I should have put the shorter timer. I am Bahamut, your caster. We are in our final matchup of the evening. This is Chair League with Team Lizhorn on the left and Waka Dehaka Flame on the right. And I actually casted Team Lizhorn last week, and that was part of it, but I saw Waka Dehaka Flame, and I was like, yup, this is happening. This is what I want in my life right now. So Genji will be banned out here, and Genji is pretty strong on this map due to the fact that he has a lot of mobility. He's extremely quicker on the map. So it's not a bad first ban. I wouldn't be too surprised now to see... Yes, Bandit, thank you. I wouldn't be too surprised to see maybe a Dehaka being banned out here, or maybe limiting that global pool if they know someone's a Brightwing player or a Falstead player. It's a strong ban here. The Gust is extremely useful. There's 2 bosses on this map. The only other map like that is Cursed Hollow, I believe. I can't think of another map that has 2 bosses. But you're here for Waka Deflaka Flame. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming by for your fellow teammates in Unlocked. First pick up here, though. Typically, on a lot of the time, I always see like a Stitches or an Uther. That seems to be a lot of first picks nowadays, but we're going to actually have Brightwing right out the gate. Okay, so Brightwing, and then we're actually going to be having Dehaka and Asmodan. This is awesome. I love Asmodan. That is amazing. Yes, thank you. Please, Asmodan on this map? Of course. Please, thank you. All right, I just need to close out of one thing because I know it eats up a little bit of bandwidth. Okay, just get rid of Discord. We don't need you. All right. That way we can just see Twitch chat. All right. Waka Dehaka Flame. Whoever came up with this team name is just, that's such a good name. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So, with the Asmodan and the Dehaka, that's going to be a really strong lane pressure on the side of Team Lizhorn. But the Brightwing does present a global threat, as well as the ability for the phase shift in. Usually, you know, I've been wrong every time I say this, but there's usually a Z build where you'd then be able to have the vision. So if you Z into someone, give them shields, you have the CDR because your team's there, and then you provide the vision. So they're going to go ahead and pick up Leoric and Zagara. Zagara providing extremely good map presence with her Nidus network at 10. And then Leoric pretty much doing the same thing with map presence. Literally just whenever he dies, he's still on the map. So, you know, you've got a Leoric that's about to spawn and someone's capping a nuke. Well, you're not going to be capping a nuke for very long. Oh, this is so exciting. So actually we're going to be having Varian being hovered for ban here. And I'm curious as to why that is, because they've got Zagara, Leoric. Well, as I was say, Varian, I don't know. Varian just didn't seem right to me. The Illidan, that could work. The hunt does provide a global threat, so you could hunt into like an enemy who's solo, then have the Brightwing come in. But I am... Oh, okay. And you're also welcome for the Discord. Like, so the Uther will be banned out here. And at this point, they're going to limit the healer pool. That way it just is more difficult on the side of Team Lizhorn to really just kind of pick up, you know, one of those major top-tier healers. You know, Uther would have probably been their priority, but I don't know. I was going to say, Rhaegar seems very good, but they're going to go into Samuro as well. What am I watching? Or what are we about to watch, actually? Samuro being picked up here, strong solo laner, and there's actually a lot of camps that he can actually pretty much rotate around the map, pick up, and really start to create a lot of... You know, he is the true jungler. As from my understanding of how the character's played, he's a jungler. But at the same time, like, they've got a lot of people who can really, like... Sam can solo lane, Asmodan can solo lane, Dehaka can solo lane. What else are they going to do with this? But at the same time... Waka Dehaka Flame. I'm going to have so much trouble with that the entire game. They're going to be picking up the Vala, and they're going to need another tank, I would believe. Varian? Nope, Anubrak. And Anubrak makes sense. The new Varian armor for the spell damage against the Asmodan. And the Samuro? The crits count as basic attacks, never mind. I'm actually surprised with the Samuro they wouldn't take someone who has blind. I was thinking maybe the Cassie over the Vala, but the Vala is just so strong, and the poke and the stuns. I mean, Vala provides way more than Cassia could. The blinds are nice, yes, but I think you'd be hindering your team too much by picking up the Cassia over the Vala just for that Samuro. Now, main tank is needed on the side of Team Lizhorn. Stitches is still available and viable, and he's ready to mingle too. But we don't see it that often, but like we could technically see an ETC. Stage Dive does provide a secondary global to the team. That might be worth picking up, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was just in... What? So, solo tank Dehaka. I mean, they have Asmodan, who has one of the highest health pools in the game, I believe. But you've got Leoric to counter that. And then you've got Zagara for push, but then you've got Murky to counter that, as well as Samuro. And Rhaegar counters Zagara, I believe, as well, the totem in his... But the polymorph can neuter that Rhaegar pretty quick. I am so not sure of this at all. But on the left-hand side, we have Team Lizhorn with Dehaka. Oh, excuse me. The Wade on... there we go, to the right channel. The Wade on Dehaka. Chambers on Murky. Macavel on Asmon. I should have looked it up beforehand. Paradox on Rhaegar. And Ryan Rad on Samuro. On the right-hand side, we have Waka Dehaka Flame with Hakfu on Zagara. KTP on Anubrak. Yardi on Leoric, Meteora on Vala, and oh my frickin' god, Meow. We don't swear on this fucking stream. All right, and to our first match of the evening between these two teams.
Battleground initialization in progress. Combat preparation advised.
So we are going to have that Earthbind totem from the... Excuse me, the Lightning Bond from the Rhaegar. That is going to be extremely useful for clearing out the Zagara creep. Dehaka will be going into his stacking for the Brushstalker, the Anubarian armor from the Anubrak, the Spectral Leech build from the Leoric. Brightwing will be going to the first Z talent. Murky will be taking Bribe. Zagara and Vala, Banelings and Manticore? Nope, we're going to go Roaches and... Excuse me, not Manticore. Hot Pursuit. I guess it's actually going to be the Vaulting Arrow. Or, Hungering Arrow build. Excuse me, dang. Okay. So we are going to be having just the Asmodan in mid currently. The Rhaegar and the Murky will be in bottom, and the Samuro and the Dehaka will be in top. Now this is an interesting matchup, but they are doing the smart thing, and Asmodan can stack the best in the top wave, or in this mid wave, because the fact that he is stacking against 4, but I do not think he connected any of his globes. He did get one of them. We're having the Samuro rotating down at this point, but we are actually also having this 3-man in bottom currently pushing back the Rhaegar and the Murky. Murky will be running up into the top lane. And it looks like we will be having a pretty strong push up against the Zagara. The Rhaegar will be rotating in, but he does get spot out by the creep. The Lightning Bond will be able to clear that up just a little bit. So then we are going to be having our laning of the Dehaka in top. In this bottom, though, this Murky is going to get... Looks like he's getting pushed in quite a bit. And it's going to be really hard for him to stack. I know I looked it up last game. Does it show him stacking? It does on Brightwing, okay. Or excuse me, on Murky. It wasn't on Brightwing for some reason, or maybe I just didn't notice that it was always full stacks. We are having a small collapse onto the Zagara, but it looks like she will spot it out because of the fact that she, once again, has this creep. So Sam rotated right through, and they could see exactly where it's coming from. So position-wise, they do have the 2 in the mid for this, and in bottom they do have the 3 for this. So we should probably see that's the way it's going over. I wouldn't expect Azmodan to rotate in from top. He's already gone up that far. So it looks like we're just going to be having the Samuro and the Dehaka. The Dehaka will be able to kind of just push her back far enough, and that is going to be that one going, and this is already going to be over to Waka Dehaka Flame. Now we are going to have the Brush Stalker into bottom behind the enemy team, but they do get the drag onto the Valo. There is the Rhaegar there. Samuro is also there, but Dehaka gets killed. Do they get the kill off the chase? They do get the butt bite from the Rhaegar, and that is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. In top lane, we are having this posturing up against this Azmodan. He is quite low on mana and kind of health, but at this point, Zagara will just be rotating up against him, and this should be a pretty fair laning matchup. She will get a little bit of an advantage due to the fact that, you know, the Azmodan has to go back, and Dehaka is just rotating into lane. But now that we have this Murky in bottom, he is starting to be able to really be a nuisance to this Anub'arak. He can't do enough damage to him, nor can he really clear the minion wave quick enough for, you know, the Murky to not just push him in. And at this point, we also do have... Mid looks like it's getting pushed in quite hard. Okay. Dehaka will miss the drag, unfortunately. He will be consuming some of his essence there, I believe, unless that's a different noise. I thought that was the same noise as essence. But in the meantime, while we have these 7s approaching, I don't think we're gonna have a pick coming up anytime soon. We might see a Murky kill, but that one I don't mind missing too much. Azmodan is stacking slowly but surely. Maybe with the 7 talent of increased speed, he might be able to land those dunks a little bit easier. Vala is starting to work through her vaulting arrow talent, but it's a little bit hard to stack off this Murky. And it looks like Zagara's getting some decent value out of her. I can't think of the name. Serrated Spines. I was like, it's not Medusa Blades. I'm pretty sure about that. And actually, they went ahead and stole that camp. I believe Samuro went ahead and stole that camp. So that's actually going to force a rotation out of the enemy team. They're going to have to clear that up. At this point, though, Rhaegar will be getting that camp as well. And the thing that I didn't really note too much on this comp on the side of Team Lizhorn is they've got a lot of people who can just go get camps. They've got Murky can get camps, Rhaegar can get camps. I mean, literally, their entire team can just go get a camp at any time. And that creates such an interesting threat on the map because of the fact that there are about 6 camps. I mean, there's two hard camps, 2 soft camps, and 2 bosses. This just gives so much pressure on the map because if Dehaka's missing, he might be back in core doing whatever. But he actually could just be going and getting, you know, a boss. And as well as the fact that he does provide that global threat. And a lot of these junglers do solo well against other heroes. So in a solo situation where you are spread across the map like this, a Samuro should be able to, you know, hold his own against a Zagara, I would think. But then again, I mean, who knows? Its player is a little bit different, but I want to see if this in bottom engagement. Dehaka did fall on top. Just going to peek up there really quick, and it looks like they're just going to go ahead and confirm that there will be a Hearth out from the Samuro. They do get a little bit of a body block onto this Vala, who will be falling here, but from behind, Leoric is going to be coming in. They're trying to chase down this Rhaegar. He's just juking so... And unfortunately, Leoric had that swing used on the Azmodan trying to get a kill onto him, but unfortunately, that ended up... you know, the Rhaegar got right by him because of that. And actually, at 7, we're going to see Gluttonous Ward picked up from the Azmodan, which is interesting. I would think you'd go into the increased missile speed, but that's not... looks... Okay, well, it gives a little bit of extra healing, I guess. That's beneficial. I would think that this faster speed... I guess if you don't need the speed for the dunks, that's... You know, that's how you play it. I like it. I get to go swoosh faster. And especially if someone's running away, I usually can predict their spot a little bit better. But we are having in mid, this is going to get pushed up a little bit from the Rhaegar. We are having this top being pushed in by the Zagara now that they've cleaned up all of those camps. This is really, excuse me for that. Azmodan did get caught out there by the Vala and the Leoric. And it looks like it was probably Strafe and Entomb used together. 40-second cooldown, 50-second cooldown. Yeah, that sounds about right. So the Rhaegar is going to get... They're going to swing and miss, but Vala will be getting the pickup on that kill. So that is going to be an Azmodan just spawning and a Vala... Excuse me, and a Rhaegar just dying. So that's going to be a little bit of a staggered death here. And that's going to be a bit of a hindrance on the side of Team Lizhorn. Now, I was commending them for their jungling, but the unfortunate thing is the jungling does pay off. Unfortunately, they're not getting the experience that they need from just laning and pushing because some of these members are starting to kill them. I was saying that they are, they can win these 1v1s, but I might be completely wrong on that fact. We do have a nuke falling in bottom lane. It probably will kill the Murky Egg. Yes, it will. Because he went bribe, so he doesn't have the fake eggs, which means he can't die in the next couple seconds, but he will try and bait out this Anubarak a little bit. We do have a small chase happening here. There is a Spectral Leech from the Leoric. He is starting to get onto the Azmodan, and I completely missed the Zagar dying. I apologize. I'm getting focused. This is such a big map. It's so hard to see what's happening in every lane. So we are going to be having this top being pushed in by the clones and Dehaka. Now that they're gone, we are seeing that Samuro is in their aggressive camp trying to pick this up. Will Vala scout it up? She won't. She's actually going to be trying to rotate in behind this Dehaka. He is the lower health hero. Is there an Entomb from the Lyric? They actually go straight onto the Azmodan. They do get the kill onto the Dehaka, and this also will be a kill onto the Azmodan too. And this is starting to sway very heavily in the favor of Dehaka Flock of Flame. And ironically enough, they're not even playing Dehaka. So, in bottom, we do have March of the Murlocs currently clearing up this gate a little bit here, pushing in quite a bit. Now, they are going to need to rotate into these nukes very soon. They can pressure this up a lot. The Anubarak doesn't have much mana, but they're going to want to report into these because losing these nukes at this point are going to be extremely damaging to the team. They actually pick up a boss, and this is strong for them because of the fact that it's going to be walking to a keep gate. Now, in mid, we do have the Tongue. It just barely misses the Bright Wing. And it looks like this nuke... The nukes are going to go 1 for 1 on either side. Just curiously wanted to check into some of the questing talents here. Okay. And so, in about 10 minutes and... At 10 minutes 15 seconds-ish, I think. No, excuse me, 45 seconds. We should be having our next nuke phase already, because I believe it's 145 after each one. I can never remember. But, so we are going to be having this double nuke in top lane with this boss, and this is going to be an extremely strong push. The Samurai clone will be killed right away. He will have to back off here. Now, with this boss only being half health, the dunks aren't completely stacked up yet. They're getting there. So the extreme bonus damage that you'd currently be getting is not completely accessible to Azmodan. They will be backing off from this engagement currently. The Dehaka did come in from the back trying to get a flank onto some of the members. Now, this is a really risky move here. They're going to try and take this. They don't have their 16s yet. The Bloodlust is actually popped. They actually go into the Blade Storm from the... the Blade Storm from the Samuro, and they just clean up with the Azmodunk. There is the Dehaka who is going... Looks like he's chasing down this follow. The Brightwing could be potentially falling. They do change direction onto the Brightwing and the Leoric. Now there is the butt bite from the Rhaegar. There is the slowing totem from him as well, but this Vala looks like she should be able to get from behind this gate easy and alive. Does need to have mana pickup. There is a tongue, but it just misses her. So they will actually end up getting that camp, which they ended up fighting over. And at this point, I would not be too surprised to see a boss call. The Vala is still alive. They have a lot of members who would have to rotate quite far across the map. But you know what? Actually, the Brightwing could just Z in, and Leoric's already there, so that's good that they didn't. Murky will use his March to go through there. Vala will use Strafe to get rid of the 2 clones right away. Try and just zone some of these people back as well. Brightwing does come in with the phase shift. That will be Dehaka falling here. There is an Entomb onto the Rhaegar, who looks like he will be falling as well. Murky is getting chased down. Now, if they keep aggressing here, they could get his egg. I doubt they'll get him, but at the same time, while they trade for all these kills, Azmodan did get a fort in mid. Ooh, my power just stuttered really quick. So hopefully we should be good. Okay. Alright, luckily there's battery backups. At this point, we are going to have the boss picked up. Ooh, I'm starting to lag. And I apologize. Alright, are we back? Okay, it looks like I had a slight power outage. I think my OBS is going to be a little stuttery. I apologize in the meantime. Looks like we're dropping the majority of our frames currently. That was very odd. I guess my router... Oh, I know what happened. Okay. We should be back live at this point. I apologize. I lost power for a few seconds. I live in the mountains, so that happens quite a bit. I guess I need another battery backup for another thing. So that will be purchased tomorrow. Anyways, so going into this, we have another stutter. Ooh, no. So we are going to be missing that Samurai kill. I apologize. This is going to be an extremely heavy aggression onto... Okay, it looks like we've stabilized back into the game. I had a bit of a hiccup there internet-wise. We should be back to normal. And so, here we go into this bottom wave. There are 4 nukes on the side of Dehaka Flock of Flame. They do get the drag onto the Lurk. He does have his Wraith Walk to get out of there. They drop 2 nukes currently. The Entomb is there onto 2 of the members. Do they get one with the nuke? They do hit them a little bit with a little bit of the damage. The Marshal of the Murlocs has done a significant amount of damage though to Leoric, and I get another stutter. We should be... Okay, so the Lurk does get away without any issue. The Dehaka will... Okay. Okay, so we're just going to be losing the Dehaka. Another 2 nukes will be coming out onto this keep, and they really want to confirm this. The Azmodan did die, I believe, from some dots, maybe, from the Zagara, I would assume, or maybe a splash from the nuke. I don't know. But we do have the Zagara already going back up into top lane. She will be going, I'm assuming, for this camp to create more pressure. All right, so... With the lane so far pushed forward, this is exactly what they want to do. Pushing up the waves is one thing, but at this point, all they can really do is get some of the camps and work their way in for 20s. Because if they aggress too far, they don't want to get picked off. There are even talent tiers, and if they are caught out by themselves, they could start to, swing the game against themselves. They could start to throw the game, basically. So at this point, we are going to just see them rotating around. They're going to be going for these camps. Brightwing will get the Z in. There is the Zagara already there. So a lot of the team is kind of clumping up together. Murky is already rotating into mid. Zagara looks like she will be going back to go and take care of that. The egg is actually placed within their vision. And I don't think he realizes that. So that's going to be the egg getting killed. And also when Murky has... Oh, does the new break? Does he get it? Does he get it? Does he get it? Does he get the burrow? He got the burrow. There is going to be the Murky chase at this point. There is a stun onto him, and he dies. And that is honestly, I had to say, like, one of the most satisfying thing on earth. When you get to kill a Murky's egg and the Murky. Nothing against the player or anything. It's just, that's just, like, the most satisfying thing in the game, I honestly think. That and, like, scouting a Nova and killing her, too. It's just such a good feeling. They're going to go ahead and aggress onto this fort. And it looks like at this point we are going to have the Dehaka burrowing straight down in there. He's going to play it safe because he does see that there is creep. But somehow actually the catapult leached onto him and shot him. And this actually could be enough time for the Zagara to aggress down there. I don't think she has Nidus on cooldown, so she technically could go there. But we actually already have the Brightwing Leoric and the Anubarak there ready to pick them off. And that was the thing. Dehaka waited way too long because the vision was there from the creep. From the Nidus network. Now, with this, with these 2 nukes, looks like Zagara is just going to go ahead and say, I'm done with this fort. You can have it, Azmodan. I will rotate into bottom? Maybe? Zagara? Oh, I guess Zagara just went in for health and mana. So she'll just be pushing back the Azmodan still, and they're going to go ahead and aggress onto this core with 2 nukes. Now, this first one should take about most of the shield. Murky does use the March of the Murlocs, which will deter some of the members here. They get about 75% of the health down. March of the Murlocs is in their way. There is a web wrap onto one of the members of Team Lizhorn. Now, Dehaka Flock of Flame is going in on this core. The Blaze Storm does come out. So does the the bloodlust from the Rhaegar. The Entomb is there onto some of the members, and are they going to be able to confirm this? Yes, and that is going to be GG. First game going over to Waka Dehaka Flame. Alrighty, and welcome back. I need to update the little thing at the bottom of the screen, so excuse me for a second while I do that. We are going into Dragonshire. Really strong... who is playing right now? If I push all the buttons, will the thing go? Oh no, I hit the wrong one. Okay, so first band, looks like it's going to be hovering for a new Barak here. And... not a bad idea. The Nubrak was really strong last game. That web wrap was kind of hard to deal with. So I don't think they're going to want to go up against that. Dragonshire is all set. Okay, cool. So we can start round 2. The little thing in the bottom should update. Okay, so Genji looks like he's going to be hovered here. No, it's actually going to be Vala. I don't know if maybe they're just not sure which one they want to deal with yet. But the Vala wouldn't be nope, it's going to be Ariel. So Juke the caster. Team Lizhorn will go ahead and ban out the Ariel. Okay, just checking stream really quick to make sure that everything is going cool. Okay, so the Ariel's banned out here, and I'm curious as to why that is. Maybe they know that they run something on this map specifically. Stitches will be banned out here as well. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be running fine on the stream, so we don't have to run that. Okay, so then... where do you go? Okay. First pick Uther, not a bad idea. You have your healer locked away. He's just solid all around at this point. So,
bitch.
Holla for $1.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the $1. Thank you. We're gonna have. That's actually the first $1 that anyone ever donated to me. So thank you, dude. That's awesome. As well, we're gonna have our first 2 picks on the side of Waka Dehaka Flame. Now, the question is, will Waka Dehaka Flame actually go for Dehaka on this map? He is a viable he's a viable hero. And we've seen but we've seen that the Leoric really was really good in that last match, and the Entombs that they got with the comboing with the Vala was extremely strong too. So could they just go into the Dehaka Vala again? And that's a strong, like, off, you've got your there, and then you just go into the Vala. Like you had, nope, they're going to go for double global. So they're going to go for the Dehaka and the Brightwing. Maybe that was their intention for the last game, but they let it slide through too long? But that is going to be an interesting duo to deal with. Emerald Wind could be a contender to push them off. I mean, you're really only fighting over those shrines, but the Emerald Wind is extremely useful if you do want to force the disengage against an enemy team, as well as, if they are in that little shrine, you can start to split the enemy team away from each other. So it's a very good peeling tool. But at the same time, Blink Heal is extremely useful. It allows you to kind of get in deeper for those heals, as well as gives you an out if you are in a sticky situation.
Fight to my last breath.
But Team Lizhorn, they're going to go ahead and pick up the Rhaegar again. And is this an all healer comp with one like damage dealer / tank? What are we about to see? What other healers can you take? Stukov? Stukov's available. You could take Lucio. It's a bunch of healers. So at this point, they should consider to ban out some sort of damage. Put it on your wall, $1. First $1. Thank you. Thank you so much, E2 Brandon. Okay, so ban-wise, it's kind of hard to decide on what to ban here because of the fact that they've picked up 3 healers. They're going to go ahead and just ban out the Malfurion. They're like, well, if you're going to go into all these healers, Malfurion seems to be the one that we don't want to deal with. Now, in response, what are they going to be banning out here? Hold on. This isn't some, like, crazy weird... Like, I don't think this is, but this is me thinking outside the box because they're banning out the Vala, which I guess that makes sense because that's going to be the next first pick on the side of Waka Dehaka Flame. They played a very good Vala last game, so they're going to want to make sure that that is not something they deal with. What? Was the power outage actually me dying? What? Were they like, all right, we're gonna draft standard, and then they started drafting this combo, and they were just like, oh, you know what? You're gonna go full just like meme draft. All right, well we're gonna pick up Hammer and Gazlowe because there's no way that was your original intent. Like no way at all that was your intent this entire game.
I'm here to help.
Interesting. We actually saw, I believe, this exact same comp out of Team Lizhorn last week. And I didn't want to say anything during stream because I saw the Uther come out and I was just like, it's Uther, it's whatever. And then the Rhaegar and Tyrande, at that moment I was like, oh, I think this is, yeah. So that's a pretty crazy combo comp. They ran it last week, I believe, on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and it was extremely successful. Because of the fact they literally just picked apart the enemy team. But I think at this point, Waka Dehaka Flame was like, you're going weird? We'll go weird into that. Because they picked up a double specialist into a Dehaka and a Brightwing. And I'm not saying anything bad about Hammer. It's mostly Gazlowe. No.
Host connection detected.
Oh, thank you so much, Hieroficio. Thank you so much for bringing over some of your viewers. Welcome to my stream. And thanks again to Hieroficio. I hope your chair league matches went well, my friend. So the Gianna will be picked up with this, and you guys all came at the perfect time because this is the weirdest and most interesting draft I've ever casted. So here we go into Dragonshire. I can't even with these. Alright, and with the smaller version of myself, we go into the game. On the left-hand side, we have Team Lizhorn with Reinrad on Uther, Machiavelli on Kerrigan, Chambers on Jaina, The Weight on Rhaegar, and Paradox on Tyrande. On the right-hand side, we have Waka Dehaka Flame with Meteora on Gazlowe. Oh my frickin' god, meow, on Brightwing. Yardi on Joanna, KTP on Dehaka, and Hakfu on Sergeant Hammer. And yeah, all those, that's just gonna be something ridiculous. This is gonna be a really interesting matchup because of the fact that you've got the Gazlowe who solo lanes really well. You've got the Hammer who can solo lane quite well herself. You combo that with a Dehaka, that's gonna be something menacing because I would assume you would run those two together. Hammer can run by herself until the Jaina, Kerrigan, Uther, Tyrande, Rhaegar combo walks by them and just completely says, nope, I'm good. So we are going to be seeing the CDR on the Brightwing, the Hyper Shift at level 1. We are going to be having the block from Joanna, the advanced range, or advanced artillery, from the Sergeant Hammer, brush stocking from the Dehaka. Nothing really too out of the ordinary at this point. So we are going to have the Gazlowe actually going with the Hammer straight into bottom, and they'll just have the Dehaka soloing top. Brightwing will phase shift, I believe, bottom? Yeah, okay. So at this point, they're kind of just hanging out. The Joanna is kind of showing herself, so it, makes them seem like maybe the team's hiding behind her, but I think they caught on right away when they saw these 3 in bottom. They split this rotation up for just a few moments here, but here we go into this match. And so the one thing that I want to note that I saw them do with this is basically they would Kerrigan combo someone into a Tyrande, into an Uther, and meanwhile you'd have, the entire time you'd have Jaina's cold damage constantly coming down. Now, we'll see how effective this is against Waka Dehaka Flame, because in that first game, they really showed that, you know, these kind of not cheesy comps, because like this is, you know, it's a comp, like they have an idea behind it and this is how they want to dismantle the team, but I don't know if it will just work every single time, especially on a map like this where you have to split your team up, otherwise you will lose the game. This is a fight that works well as a 4-man crew, so, or excuse me, a 5-man crew. But they will have the Rhaegar look like he'll be going up against the Dehaka in top. We are going to have the Polymorph against the Kerrigan right away. There is a combo, and the Starfall the Lunar Flare. Do we get the follow-up? We do get the follow-up Ravage. Is there a kill? No, but there is the Joanna coming in from the flank position. She does get the blind onto the majority of them here, but there will be no follow-up damage, mostly because of the fact that they're really not going to try and combo the tank. So at this point, we are going to have bottom captured by Team Lizhorn, and the top will be held by Waka Dehaka Flame, and actually by the Dehaka. So we are having this small chase from Gazlowe. Meanwhile, though, in mid, we are starting to see a huge XP gap start to form here, and that's because the Joanna is still laning in mid. And so they're missing critical experience, and what that's actually going to start to do is really benefit on the side of Waka Dehaka Flame, because if they just literally lane, they'll win the game. They'll win the team fights in about 3 minutes, because they'll be over 7 and they'll just, you know, start to stomp, because of the fact that they've dedicated so many people to be in this 4-man, and they can't be in mid currently. And I've just, you know, it's really rare when you actually have a sieging Joanna. But it looks like at this time we will have the bottom captured by Team Lizhorn. Some of the members will be aggressing onto them. We do have the follow-up stun from the Tyrande. Will the Ravage get the kill? The pull is there. Look. Oh, does she have a bird? Is there a bird from the Tyrande? No, there is not. Okay, so at this point, we are going to be having Jaina in mid, at this, pushing back a little bit here. She will not be able to capture this while the Joanna's there. It's far, I just really doubt it. But this will give enough time for Team Lizhorn, Dehaka Flame. Waka Dehaka Flame. I said I was going to mess up on that all night. Waka Dehaka Flame to go ahead, capture bottom, and they will actually capture top as well. And then Jaina will be able to poke this down. Actually, not so much, because the Brightwing's here now, so Joanna will be able to go ahead, get full. The Brightwing will be able to phase shift in, as we saw, and take over this lane, and that's an extremely useful tool. And just keep in mind, meanwhile, Dehaka can brush shock into bottom at any moment. You know, as long as they're holding bottom, they don't need to worry about mid too much. So if they know that they can get a kill, if they're aggressed too far and they're going in for a chase or something, Dehaka can outflank them in that rotation out and get the drag onto one of the many healers, or maybe just the Kerrigan, because if you lock down their damage, who are they going to kill you with besides, I mean, there's Jaina, but it's Jaina's in mid currently. So Jaina will be trying to get that. She does get poked away. And this is just going to be an endless battle between these two, just walking up and walking away. But we will just keep an eye on that in the mini-map. Kerrigan does try and get a combo onto the Brightwing. It will not work out. There is a stun onto the Gazlowe and the Hammer, but they will just be walking away without any follow-up. And so the hardest part about this is they have no tank to obviously tank all their damage, and on the side of do we have a follow-up? There is no stun from the Uther. He was a little bit late, and without that Jaina, we can really see how this composition isn't working very well. And I keep harping on this, but the fact is like it's not working too well, is because like Tomb of the Spider Queen was a map where you could literally rotate all the lanes and just walk around getting picks, whereas this map is very fight over these control points for a very long time. There is a hop on from the Kerrigan. She will get a combo onto the Hammer, who will get cleansed right away from the Brightwing. It looks like they're going to be clearing out Gazlowe's turrets here. They're holding this for the longest time, but at the same time, this Joanna in mid is just living forever, so this Jaina can't pick it up. So while we just have this kind of stalemate, we do actually have Brightwing getting stunned out. Is there? There is no follow-up damage. There's actually a stun onto the Gazlowe as well. And a lot of the members here are extremely low on mana. The Tyranda's low, the Gazlowe's low. They actually get the kill onto Kerrigan, which will force the turn on this. That means that they should be able to cancel this. Joanna doesn't need to work so hard in lane. And if Dehaka can get, you know, if Dehaka can manage to somehow kill this Rhaegar, oh, well, with Brightwing coming up here, there is a little bit of a chance. There's an aggressive rotation here. He's going to say, screw. Actually, does Brightwing capture it? He rotates into the Jaina through this bush right here. Okay, so they get their 10s. He looks like... All right, so we do have the Graviton... Not Graviton Surge. Gravel Bomb. The Gravel Bomb from the Gazlowe. The Blink Heal from the Brightwing. Falling Sword from the Joanna. Falling Shield. Falling Sword from Joanna. Adaptation from the Dehaka. And Hammer will take the Flame Strike, which will get a kill onto the Uther. There is a pushback onto the Kerrigan. There's a follow-up Gravel Bomb from the Gazlowe, and that is going to be 2 kills. And it looks like we're going to be starting to have this battle shift very much in the favor of Waka Dehaka Flame. Now, that is also because we have to note they do have their 10, so they did have those little extra abilities to use and hit those extra buttons for the kills. So, Starfall is picked up with the Bloodlust, the Ring of Frost, the Maelstrom, and the D-Shield on the side of Team Lizhorn. Now, Jaina is poking this fairly well. They do need the Uther there. Will they be able... There's the Ice Spear. Okay, they get the pull back. It looks like Rhaegar's captured top once again. Dehaka is there just to get a little bit of the harass. I don't think he should be able to take this now. With the adaptation, he does... Oh, I missed that. I'm very sorry. Did get the hammer falling, unfortunately, though. So that will be bottom going over to Team Lizhorn, and top being held by them as well. Now, mid is going to get pressured very quickly. The Kerrigan is rotating in. Do they see the Brightwing? No, they're going to go straight into the Joanna, try and force them back here. Now, Jaina will be hopefully trying to get in. The shield glares there, so they do get the blind, which interrupts. There is another... Okay, so there's a W. The D-Shield actually comes out extremely early onto the Kerrigan. I think it was meant to chase into the tower range. They do get the kill into Brightwing, and now with the Brightwing dead and the mana very low, they can move on, but at the same time, Dehaka has rotated up here and looks like he actually might be potentially getting a kill onto the Rhaegar. There is a bird from downtown, and that hits him as well as the Bloodlust was popped. So this is going to be not an altar capture because the Joanna is still here poking and pressuring. Brightwing only needs 4 seconds, but there's the stun. Does Jaina get the extra kill? It is there, but Hammerhead rotated into bottom quick enough, and this team... Waka Dehaka Flocka Flame is doing such a good job of just literally getting to the altars exactly when Team Lizhorn has the opportunity to actually capture it. And this is just, that's all they need. If they can get it, they can really start to snowball this, because this is actually starting to get up there. And ooh, there's the Uther falling. There is also the Kerrigan combo and the Starfall to zone them away here, so they will be able to capture this for a few seconds. Kerrigan does dash out, but it does not get them a kill or anything. They just use the hammer. So the Napalm Strike, I had to... Forgetting names tonight. The Napalm Strike will also be able to provide a little bit of vision, and we did catch it at the last second, so... I would not be surprised to see Dehaka rotating up there as quickly as possible, so that way they can put this Joanna into the Dragonite, and looks like Gazlowe's going to start aggressing into this middle position, trying to kind of set up and take it over so that pushes back the Jaina. Now, Dehaka, can you get top, please? Okay, there we go. Dehaka is now rotating into top. There is a combo onto the Gazlowe, but the falling sword comes out. There is a cleanse onto the Joanna at the last second, so the ice, the Ring of Frost does not connect onto her. The blind does come out, and they actually do confirm the kill onto the Jaina. They also confirm the kill onto the Tyrande, and with this, they should be getting a easy free Dragonite. Will the Rhaegar? The Rhaegar will just be playing safe here. He's going to rotate back behind his gate. And they are going to be pushing in with us. Now, the gate was just cleared out by the dragon. Okay, I was going to wonder if he was just going to aggress extremely quickly. Okay. So he will be pushing into here. And they will be kicking the Kerrigan away, which is really just negating a lot of the combo factor that they could be pressuring onto the team with. So Kerrigan is back. She is getting the flank onto the Brightwing, but there is a blind onto her. They actually kick her closer towards the gate. She does take 2 cannon shots. The Rhaegar is there with some healing. There is no Ancestral. The Bloodlust does come out there. There is a stun onto the Brightwing. The Falling Sword is there, but I think she has to use it to use a disengage. Dehaka should have adaptation and quite a bit of essence, so if he does get in a bad situation, but this is a pinch point. They do use the Gravel Bomb. They do get one of them. Do they get the kill? There is the Starfall also from the Tyrande. They actually get the second kill from the Dragonite, and this is going to be the D-Shield? Is that a D-Shield? I can't tell what's... Okay, so it's just the Kerrigan ultimate. That should be killed by the Joanna, and this is a massacre on the side of Team Lizhorn. This Gazlo is chasing the Tyrande. We do have the Dehaka getting... Oh, the lightning misses, but the D-Shield does come out. Do they have a tongue from the Dehaka, potentially? They do get the stun onto him. Gazlo is pushing in. They do have the Brightwing at this point. He does use his essence. Yeah, because he still has adaptation. The bird does connect with one person, slowing them down just a little bit here. Gazlo will get a little bit of work done onto that one of that tower. And we are going to be having a couple... We're going to have the Gazlo go back, get it full on his mana. Probably rotate into top because the altars should be coming any second at this point. They get this camp. They're going to aggress onto their own and probably rotate up into theirs as well. It looks like Gazlo should solo that. Dehaka is going to go ahead and just go straight up into top and push up that wave even further. And the bigger XP gap that they can continue to get at this point on the side of Dehaka, Waka Dehaka Flame, is extremely beneficial for them. Now, Team Lizhorn, they still can bring this back. They're going to get their 16s quite soon. And at this point in the game, it does rely a lot on team fighting, and this Dehaka is a lot of the members are playing a little bit safe and by themselves. They do get the combo onto him. He does get the adaptation, but it does not get procced in time, and he will be killed. And this is exactly what they need. See, they were very close to not having... They were just barely past 15, and now that they're this late game kill, they're getting extreme amounts of experience for these kills. So this is going to start helping them out, you know... If they can get a few more of these picks, this is going to be extremely useful for them. Now, the bottom camp was picked up, and it looks like Brightwing is... So they are going to be trying to come in for the flank. They do get spotted out by one of the mages, but they do get the stun onto... Ooh. I thought they got the stun out onto that Brightwing already, and I was about to say, that is a dead Pixie Dragon. But... she will be getting out just fine. Dehaka should be alive in 5... It will be alive in 5 seconds. He can burrow straight into top, which will provide the clear that he needs so they don't need to lose much onto that gate up there. There is a Kerrigan combo down here. There is a Polymorph. Their Ice Ring does come out. They get the kill onto the hammer here. The Brightwing does blink out to one of the members of the minion wave. The Bloodlust is there. The Wade just barely gets out. He actually inches away from the fight. Does he? Okay, so he's... Whew. They do get the drag onto the Uther, and he will be falling here as well. Does the Rhaegar have his wolf form again? He does drop the totem. Does he have Earth Grasp? He did take Earth Grasp at 16. So that is the slow that they need to get out, but unfortunately they will be losing... No, they're excuse me. They're not losing. They're starting to turn this around a little bit. So they actually turn onto some of these members. We do have the stun out onto the Dehaka. The... adaptation is not procced in time, and he'll be falling. And this is actually a huge benefit on the side of Team Lizhorn. They just turned this game around real quickly. Now, they still have to do a couple things. They still have to capture the dragon. But one thing I want to know is that the entire time their hard camp did push in quite hard, and this is going to just provide a lot of just good... It's going to provide a lot of good pressure, and they'll get the well, which means that they really struggle at these altars at this point. They did have the well gone up here as well and on their bottom, but it's just more of a benefit on the side of Team Lizhorn to take that well out. It makes it harder for them to get onto these, stay on these altars longer. They're going to rotate into bottom. It looks like the entire enemy team is just going to be taking this together. So they should be able to push into this, no problem. Brightwing does have the phase shift in. Dehaka does have burrow, so I would expect to see him maybe come in behind in this bush and maybe go onto one of these. Maybe the Tyrande. She seems to be a lot of the follow-up stun. She is also the excess damage. So we do have Dehaka currently spawned. Let's see if we can get a little bit more vision here. So there's the kick onto the hammer. It does put her quite a bit away from the team. Dehaka is actually rotating just into top lane. He might not have burrowed this time. There is the D-shield from the Uther at this point onto the Kerrigan. There's a huge starfall. There's 2 members currently falling on the side of Dehaka Flocka Flame. They do get this fort, and this will be confirmed. The Dragon Knight is only at 5% health, so it will be falling. They do get one more kick onto that Joanna to say, you know what, I'm done with you. Is there one more Dragon Breath just to clear up the wave? No, and so they'll be just utilizing this as best they can for the next 10 seconds. So they're going to get one more kick, actually. But they use the Iron Skin? Yeah, I believe that was the Iron Skin. The 20s are actually here, so they are starting to turn this around a little bit. They don't have their Gazla for another 36 seconds. But we are having... Okay, so Joanna's not going in for an aggressive rotation here. That's what I was wondering if she was going to be. No, but we actually, never mind, she is going in. She's going into many of these members. They get a huge blind on the multiple members. Dehaka does come in from the backline. They do get the drag onto the Kerrigan. She is cleansed out at the last second. The Ring of Frost does come out. It does not connect onto any of the members. Unfortunately, there is a Blizzard onto this Joanna, who does use her Falling Shield to chase away this Kerrigan, who does hop back under. She does pop her Iron Skin. She is living through this. The Brightwing is getting all the heals that it can. Dehaka does use the burrow just to make sure that he gets the essence off. There is a huge stun onto the Brightwing. That is actually starting to turn this fight around. There's the Joanna falling as well. Do they get the kill into the Dehaka? No, they actually end up losing the Rhaegar, but they have so many more members, healing members, that they'll be fine without him. So they get the Starfall and the kill on the Dehaka, and that is going to be a 1-for-3 trade. So that was extremely impressive on the side of Team Lizhorn. They really, really just turned that fight around. It seemed like a very losing fight on their end. But they definitely came around and just started pressuring right into that team. It's just like almost like once they lost the dragon, it seemed like the combo that they were getting off onto so many of these members. They did get rid of the bloodlust before it could be used, which was probably why they walked away with 2 members alive rather than no members alive. And that drag onto that Kerrigan interrupted so much. There was a cleanse already burned, so there was just so much that was just used just to keep the Kerrigan alive. But still, just an amazing engagement from both teams. We are going to see this camp being picked up in bottom. And at this point, we should just let's take a look at some of the map things that are currently happening. So we have top lane being extremely far pushed in. Mid looks like it's about the same. And bottom seems to be where a lot of the pressure is about to be applied. There is an altar here. 20s are here for both teams. We do have the... Ooh, Tyrande, forgive me. Shooting star from her, and I believe that's a cooldown reduction? It's, excuse me, the increased range, and then looks like Rhaegar will go for the shielding. Jaina will take the ice block, I believe. Kerrigan takes the extra damage. Uther goes for redemption, as always. The upgrade to the Grab-A Bomb on the side of Waka Dehaka Flame. Upgrade to... I'm just forgetting on the name. Oh, Blink Heal, thank you. And it looks like just upgrades to a lot of the talents, or the alternate, which would be the Frenzy from the Hammer or the Shielding from the Joanna. But we are going to be having the top picked up. Top altar is going to be controlled by Team Lizhorn at this point, and the bottom will be held by Waka Dehaka Flame. And this is the standpoint that we're going to get at, where one team will have to aggress onto the other. And it looks like they're going to try and force a rotation from Team Lizhorn to them. They're going to say, we're going to push up this aggressively. If you want to rotate into us, try it. And they're going to start feeding these minion waves into this keep, which is going to really take away the cannon shots and potentially open up a keep wave. And they'll have those catapults pushing. Now, in the same fashion, though, Team Lizhorn has gotten this hard camp, which will push up and force the Dehaka up a little bit because he knows that he can get this. They are missing on map. They do get the slow. There is the dig, but there is no tunneling clause, and they do get the collapse and explode onto him. And now, I was talking about pressure onto a keep. This is still a fort, but still, they're really starting to pressure onto this fort. And if we remember not to... What is it? Are they... So they're forcing a back out of the enemy team. They do get straight onto this keep, and they can't even back in time. So they leave the Jaina. She gets the fort up in top. Nope, she hearts actually at the last second as well. And they're going to full disengage. So they lose a fort themselves. The cleanse is already used on the Joanna. She uses the Falling Sword to get right out, and this should be a easy disengage from the enemy team. Yep, the Napalm Strike unmounts them, so they should be able to get away. Kerrigan could leap onto one of the members of this wave, but that won't refill her stack quick enough, so she won't be able to hop again. Now, this is a hard camp, and this is a very strong hard camp, pushing into this top keep gate, but at the same time, they do need to defend this dragon point, because they do not want to give this up. This is a 20-minute Dragonite. It'll be 21 minutes, actually, if they pick it up. And that's extremely powerful. So they do get the cancel. They channel the top. All right, and so it looks like at this point they're gonna go ahead clear all this vision up, so they can't see if they're gonna be rotating up into them. Dehaka goes for the clear, and this is an extremely tense match at this point. We're 21 minutes in, and we are, we've only lost one keep on the side of Team Lizhorn. It was kind of backdoored a little bit. Strategically, though, they did force a rotation out of, Waka Dehaka Flame forced a rotation out of Team Lizhorn, and it pulled them off of their top fort, which is extremely strong to do. Instead of just trying to rotate up the map and flank them, they just said, you know what, you're too far from us, you have to hearth, and by then we can get this keep. So they go ahead, they got that, and that's a lot of good pressure that they can keep put in bottom. Having that gone, as well as they still have their fort in bottom, so this is a very easy area for them to capture, because if they do get chased, they can just walk back underneath their fort and fight right there. We are going to have the Joanna jumping up on the Rooster, trying to bait some of them in here. The D-Shield comes out right away. The Gravel Bomb is there. The Ring of Frost as well gets a couple of the members. Tyrande already falls down here. We also see the Rhaegar falling too. The Blink Heals are out from the Brightwing, but she is so low herself. There's a combo onto the Hammer. Does she get out? She does not. But we also see the Kerrigan falling as well, so that's going to be a 1-for-3 trade. We also have the Uther getting chased here. He does have Redemption, though, so he is a little bit less of a kill. Unless he gets the pick onto Brightwing, then he's definitely worth the kill. But at this point, we do have Dehaka capturing this point. Redemption is up from Uther, so they should make sure that he doesn't just walk onto this point and spawn right again. If I am correct on that, it's not on cooldown. Correct? Yeah, okay. So he does walk away. And Dehaka will be going ahead and getting this. I would not be too surprised if they just walked straight into bottom lane and tried to take their core. They've got 20 seconds before the first hero's up. They're going to go ahead, get this hard camp, or soft camp, which will push up right around the time most of these members are up. They're going to push up this minion wave, which will bring 2 catapults, one in the rear as well. Looks like they're going to go ahead, skip this. Oh, nope. So they're going to go ahead and get the tower so that the catapults can take a little bit. The catapults don't take as much damage. They're going to go straight onto this core. Now, Rhaegar, Tyrande are back. Kerrigan is up in 4 seconds. Will they get enough damage onto this core before they can combo them to death? The shields are out at this point from the Rhaegar? I don't know. I'm so sorry. The Ring of Frost does come up from the Jaina, but with this Dragonite being at 12% still, they are going to confirm this, and the second game will go over to Waka Dehaka Flame. GG, well played.